So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw flames. I'm going to be using a picture here, there we go, which I'm about to zoom into. I'm just going to pick a little section. I can show you two different types of flames. One which is just the basic like candle flame, which is fairly simple. We can start with that, but it still have to blend the colors and stuff, so I feel like that's the best one to start with. And once we've done that, we're going to move into the more complicated one. So what I'm going to show you guys is the colors I'm going to be using first, which are these four colors that I have. The reason why I've decided to add an extra yellow is because normally a lot of people that I know that follow me online struggle to find yellow, and this one you can only buy in the UK. So yeah, and they don't ship worldwide as well, so that's another problem. So I always get these whenever I go to the UK. I always buy these Ryman stationary yellows. Pack of 10, pretty cheap, around £2.50, maybe £3. But yeah, pretty cheap. And these two you guys should know, Stettler, my favorite brand of pens. You got red, orange, and the last yellow. The reason why I don't like this yellow that much is because it's more neon yellow, and it's just more neon. It's from Bic, great company, great brand, and it's crystal. It's 1.6, so the nib is thick compared to these ones. These ones are like 1 and this is 1.6, so it's almost double the size. So yeah, it covers up a lot more space, which is great, but if you're going for them finer details, not so great, you know. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys here just on the side what I mean by the color. So here, as you can see, it's more neon, you know, but still yellow, can't really complain. And this is the Ryman stationary one. Which is more of the everyday yellow that you would basically go for. It's leaning more towards the orange side, but that makes it almost better to blend with orange, you know what I mean? So these two, so I got really interrupted by my little brother. He had to come in the room and change. So yeah, I'm gonna do a voiceover to make it easier for you guys to understand what I'm doing. So basically I'm just showing you guys how the red works. As you can see, the tone of the red, they're nice, and I'm gonna bring in the orange, show you the same technique, the tone of it. And this is just so you guys know what colors I'm going to use and how close they are to one another, like the top yellow and the orange. Some parts I will leave in like real time where there's no one in my room, but other parts I will have to do the voiceover. I know some of you like the sound of the pen when I'm scratching it. I like it as well, but yeah, this part you're not going to be able to see it. So basically what we did was we started off with the lightest color. That's what I like to tell people when they ask me, oh, how do you get like the accurate sketch or anything like that. I say I always start with the lightest color, that way it's easier for you to make adjustments, you know, make changes. If it's too narrow, you can make it a bit wider. If it's too wide, you can always add the other colors around it in order to make it work, you know. But you always want to start with the lightest color as a sketch, almost, you know, like a little sketch. It's almost like what people do when they do like designs and stuff. They will use like a blue or a red, and then after that work on top of it with a pencil, things like that. Just always use the lightest color in order to start your drawing, and that's what we're doing here. Adding a couple layers, just back and forth really lightly. As you can see, the way I'm adding this neon yellow, it's nothing like the neon at the top. The top one I pressed quite hard to show you an example of what the color is like, but here I'm building it up with the cross-hatching technique. I will also be making a video on what is cross-hatching and how it works on my YouTube channel as well, but I will also put that on here on Patreon for you guys. But yeah, start with a nice base color. Here we're just gonna do work on the simple flame, and then after that we're gonna go into the more detailed one, which is the one that's the big boss. That's the one that's a bit more complicated. Now we're going to use the second lightest color, which is orange, and try and blend that in with the yellow. So as you can see, I'm just going around the yellow shape because obviously I did it lightly first, so now it's made it easier for me to know where the orange is supposed to go. So we're going to do that, and then again really lightly, nothing crazy, don't apply the pressure too much, because that's the thing with ballpoint pen, you always want to build it up, you know, you don't want to just go straight in deep. And as you can see where the yellow is inside of it, there's a bit of white, but we've left that as to the paper. We let the paper do its job and give off that white illusion, which is something you always want to try and do with ballpoint pen, unless you are into all these white pens and stuff like that. Yes, you can use them, but I would advise you to always try and use the paper to your advantage. Also, when you're doing things like this, working in sections, like obviously work on the yellow, then work on the orange, and then work on the red, it always makes it easier to get the accuracy that you're looking for. Instead of trying to do all of it at once, like do a bit of yellow, a bit of orange, and a bit of red, and then complete like that. That can be a bit difficult and a bit overwhelming. But as you can see, I'm flicking right now in order to give off that flame illusion. It's a bit like the way you do hair. Obviously hair, you do it the opposite direction, you come towards yourself. That's with the pen, you know, so the pen has to come inwards, so from top to bottom when you're doing hair, but this way you're flicking outwards in order to make it look like flames. Obviously after that, we're going to bring in that nice red and blend that on top with the orange. So here what I'm doing basically is bringing the base color again, putting it on top of the orange to try and kind of glue it together with the neon yellow. You know, sometimes when you just apply the color by itself, it can look a bit out of place, you know, it just looks like, okay, it's not connected with the yellow, you know, it's not as one. So that's why you always like to use the base color as well, to use it on top of a little darker color in order to make it look connected and together. I had to reduce the brightness of my camera a little bit so you guys could see the white and the neon, you know, because sometimes it's a bit too bright, so I had to make a little adjustments with my camera just so you guys could see what it was that I was doing and if it was clear enough, because sometimes when the brightness is a bit too high, it's a bit difficult to see the yellow. So here we are bringing in the red, and I know right now you're looking at it probably thinking, okay, is he even using it yet? I'm just applying it very lightly. That's just the way I work. I work really lightly, and it's always a process with me. I always like to build it up, you know. I don't like to go in straight crazy and apply a ton amount of pressure to create my drawings. I always like to build it up. It's just, I don't know, I think it's just like a safety type thing, you know. So I don't really, so my mistakes I keep it at a minimum, you know, and I feel like that's the way I should teach you guys. I shouldn't just teach you, okay, just go crazy and just, you know, that's not how it's done. Ballpoint pen, it requires a lot of patience. You have to have that. But yeah, bringing in the red and really applying it on top of the orange, nice and lightly as well. But once that's done as well, we're gonna bring in the orange and see, bring in the orange to kind of glue the red and orange together, and we're not gonna forget the neon yellow in order to merge everything together to make it look nice and clean. But yeah, this was really fairly simple, but with this tutorial I will be putting like notes on the side. My handwriting's a bit like really fast, so some you might not be able to read, but I have scanned this image in so you guys can see the whole thing. But yeah, this is gonna go in one of my color ballpoint pen book. So right now I'm just working on a lot of pieces of paper, really just writing down notes and stuff around all these different tutorials I will be creating for you guys on here. It's something to help me and it's something to help you as well. So yeah, there will be a lot of notes around this image. As you can see right now, it's pretty boring, but I'll be adding more notes as we go along. as you can see, I work pretty fast when I'm using the ballpoint pen with my strokes. But again, if you're a beginner, I'd advise you to take it nice and slowly, but still you want to have a nice pace to your strokes in order to keep them consistent. You don't want to go too slow to the point where every line looks like a different tone because you're going fairly slow. I feel like your brain responses more when you have that rhythm, you know, a nice rhythm to it. So definitely try and keep a rhythm that you can keep up with. Now I'm going to show you a lot of stuff we did. So first we started off with the yellow. And then we had orange. Go. And finally we had red. This is what happened, but because we added a yellow all over this place, we have to do that again here so you guys can see what happens. See that tone? And the yellow as well when you apply it here. Look what happens. Get a totally different tone as well. You see, you got all these different tones from 3 colors, which is voila, magic. But we used all this to create this. So let's draw an arrow. Bam. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we got an arrow coming here, bam, arrow coming here, bam, arrow coming here, boing. So all these arrows, all these different things, boom, you know. And of course, got this white here, white. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do it right. Do it right. 7 tones. 3 colors. Boom. Orange. Red. Yellow. Alright, you know, so this one's also yellow, but orange. This one yellow, bright. Good and bad. Alright, so we got a day. We're pretty good so far, but now we need to move on to the main, like the big flames, you know. We drew the small one, now we gotta draw that big flame. And with the big flames, it depends on the subject you choose. Sometimes there's a bit of yellow. There is yellow in there, but it depends. Okay, so we zoom in quickly. Okay, so we're gonna choose, what's it doing? Choose like, you're gonna choose a section here and draw that. But obviously, first what I'm going to do is use the lightest color in order to create the area that we're gonna draw. And I feel like we should draw. Okay, we'll do this. Yeah. Alright, so we've got that. The first thing we're going to do is create a nice yellow layer. Yeah? So, nothing crazy. A nice light layer. So that's the first step. Step one, apply that a really nice light layer. And now you can start bringing in your colors and stuff to apply on top. And because this has a black background is black, so might have to use a black ballpoint pen. I don't know if you can read my writing, but that's what I wrote. Background is black, so you might have to use a black ballpoint pen in the drawing. Okay, so now the next color after that, like we did here, next color is orange. You know, on the right, apply that color after. And where you start is up to you, but with the lines as well, I will try not to cross hatch. I'll try to follow the flow of so like shape out things. You see, because obviously the flames and stuff all come in like separate, you know, things. So here, as you can see, we'll try to just follow it, you know. Again, keeping my stroke consistent as I can. Which can be pretty difficult sometimes, but just try your best. I mean, and then when you get to like the point where you're like, okay, I've done this more times, don't feel like I can get the lines any closer, and I still see a little bit of white, you can come in and do some circular shapes. Alright, okay, that's the first one done. So now we're going to do the next one. Okay, let me write a bit here so you guys can understand what I'm saying. Okay, here, try and follow the pattern almost like you are drawing here. So try and avoid cross hatching. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, this page gonna be full of text. I like it. Okay, so we've done the second one. Got a little bit darker line here. As you can see, it's a bit lighter than the top one. All right. Now here we need to mark out this part. This part's a bit darker. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the next one. See one that's coming here, which is pretty dark. Like I said, you just want to flow with it. Again, this was way more complex than this because this is like big flames, you know, like a fire almost. So we'll say here, okay, this one, like this, we say single starting point. So not that dramatic. How do you spell that? There you go, bam. So not that dramatic, yeah? This one, let's see, multiple starting point. So very dramatic. So many different angled flames. Okay, so I feel like I'm gonna fill up this whole page with text by the time we're done with this. Again, mark mark out some of the deeper lines. Alright, so we've got to do another line here. This one's really like deep. This is when the red comes in. Right now I'm just adding, I'm doing it layers and layers, you know. Sometimes you guys will see me in my actual other drawings, I'll work on this whole section first, then complete it. But this one I'm showing you guys the whole process basically. Obviously that one's more my way of doing things, but this way as well does work. It's basically the same technique, but I just like to really Lego it out, you know. Which this is as well, this is still a Lego technique, you know, because you're doing piece by piece. Oh yeah, another thing I need to say, you know what I need to say? Always start with the lightest color to avoid major mistakes. Bam. I'm gonna fill up this page with text. I can feel it already. Alright. Got another flame going on in here. By the time we're done with this, you are gonna be experts at drawing flames. And this is also showing you guys the overlapping of colors, you know, mixing colors together. there. I added like a really dark tone of orange. See, it's really starting to come through, it's starting to work. Another important factor is lift up your pen after every stroke. Very important. Underlined. Very important. A lot of people forget that, but it's very important. So we're gonna add that there. All right. We got another one here. So when you shape out things in sections, it does make it easier for you. Something else I need to write. Where do I write that? Okay, let me write it here. Working in sections makes it easier to details and accuracy. Bam, done. Okay. Oh, fill up this whole page with text. I don't think you guys understand. Alright. So we're gonna have another one here. Alright. Okay, so I feel like that's all the major orange, you know, we need to add. So that's it. Alright, so we've done that. Now just starting points, so very dramatic. That's why there are 7 different angle flames. We will start with the lightest color to avoid major mistakes. 7 tones, 3 colors. Yes. Single starting point. This is multiple starting point. This is like a fire almost. And obviously we just added the 2nd tone. But yeah, as you can see, how does not look so bright once another color is applied on top. Like here, you can see it's majorly like neon, it's basically shining. But here, as you can see, I added 2 light layers of it, almost like this one, very light. But the fact that I've applied another color on top, which is orange, you can't see the brightness anymore because the orange is on top, you know. And I applied it very lightly. Here I've applied it quite a lot, like here as well, you can see. So this looks very realistic already, and we haven't added the red yet. Whereas this looks more cartoony, although we was going for the whole realisticness, but this way, you see, quite a lot of difference already. But yeah, hope you guys are finding it right and everything, but hopefully, yeah, that's how I like to really kind of weirdly express myself. So now we're gonna bring in the red. Let's start this side. So red. So that's all the red I need to add, and I'm gonna be a little bit extra here, so we're gonna add brown. So use brown instead of black because it is easier to control, and brown is easier to blend with the color. Great for creating shadows. Use black for complete dark areas. Yeah, I feel like that's alright. So now I'm gonna bring in the brown. Here it's like here. Right, so we've added a brown now. Now we need to apply the black, which is the dangerous one. Well, we apply that very lightly here. And that's to the bottom. Bring back the brown a bit. Find the black areas. And bam. Trace in here. Black areas. Right. All right. Okay. So the final step is to bring back the base color. Let me do that here again. Bring back base color in order to bring the drawing to completion, you know. Base tone will glue all the colors together to make it look as one. Bam! Alright, so that's what we're going to do now. Bring back the base color, here it is, and I'm going to apply that in certain areas. Some areas I'm going to leave, like here. I'm not going to touch that. So I'm only gonna do this to like half of it for now, so you guys can see the difference. How big of a difference it makes. Look at that, and look at that. You see, there's already a big difference between the two. And I can always bring back some more orange if I feel like it's not as dark as I wanted it to be. So that you can always bring back. See, you didn't have the. This is what happens once you add the base color again. You can come back and do this. So add a bit more orange as well to make it look more, flamey. Of course, this still looks cool, you know what I mean? But this looks more like fire, you know? So after you added the base color again, you can add a couple more layers. Again, you don't want to like overdo it. Go, you know? So you can add back a bit more red, if anything, brown. That all depends on what you see. If you feel like it's enough, then don't add more. Just leave it as it is. You know. But me, I'm a bit complicated. You know, I'm a bit complicated. So yeah, I'm like, nah, need a little bit more brown. Okay, so we're good there, we're good. So this is nice. Now we gotta add this side as well, do the same here. Start with the top. So, you know, I can already see the top needs a bit more orange. These parts here as well need to add a bit more orange. Even with the yellow, I'm still trying to follow that direction of the hair of the flames. I said hair there. Still trying to follow the direction. Yeah, keep it there. Go, bam. Go. And go. And it's looking cool, but we need a lot more orange. That's one thing I noticed. So the orange needs to be a bit more. Right, as well, we need to fade it out so we can almost not see the yellow after we're done with it. So a lot of these parts that look a little too yellowy need to be gone. So that's why. But it's always better to leave it in the beginning, leave it spacious. So now towards the end, I can add in these little extra details to get it the way I want it to look, you know. But if I did this all in the beginning, like a little guessing game, then and I made a mistake, I can't go back from it. So it's better to do it this way, actually build it up. Okay, here as well, it's a bit too much yellow, so I have to cover it up. Alright, I like this part looks cool. Yeah, gonna leave this part, but that's a lot of white here. This part's white, you see this part, we're leaving it as it is. Don't want to touch around, mess around with them areas. You know, I like it. Looks cool, man. Looks nice. You can add a little bit of red. A little touch, just a little dash. Yeah. You know, just a little sample, you know, just a little sample. It's cool. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit. So once we applied the yellow on top, as you saw, we went back into it and applied a bit more, little more layers of orange and red, just to kind of, because there was a lot of yellow areas, you know, and we wanted to not be so yellow. So that's why we went and did that. And yeah, so you add the base layers and everything, apply the base color again, and then after that you can add in the extra little details that you feel like you need to add in. But it's not like, oh, go full on orange in the beginning and all that stuff. No, you build it up step by step, and eventually you will have something like this. But we use these, you see, we started off with this. Like I said, it's best to start off with something like this, simple, where you're just blending it nice and slow, and then after, once you've understand how to do this, you can easily come over and transfer it into something like this, where it's more detailed, more flamey, you know. Let's call this one, what should we call it? Flames. Flames, yeah. Gonna make that look a bit more cool. There's some other colors in here as well. Maybe some reds, a bit of yellow. This can definitely go in my color ballpoint pen tutorial book. Bam. Flames. Some red up in here. yellow. Bam. So there you have it. Love it. That looks incredible. Looks great. Filled up the page. Lots of notes and stuff. I'm gonna have to scan this in. Hopefully my Patreons on Patreon can read it. Which is you guys watching this video right now. But yeah, we had fun with this one. Definitely gonna try and keep my tutorial with something like this, because I feel like it's a better way for me to explain myself with notes. Because this is exactly how I used to do it in uni. You know, storyboard and stuff. So yeah, hopefully this does help you guys, and hopefully my writing's not too complicated to read, although I probably do think it is. But yeah, when I do make the book, I'm gonna do this all type and make it look fun. Yeah, but yeah, that's it for this one. Catch you lot in the next one. Peace. I'm out. Bye.